Next on BOI Weekly, tracking the success of the BOI Fund in Ibadan.
The relationship between the Bank of Industry and the government was consummated sometime in the first quarter of year 2012, when the memorandum of understanding was consummated between both parties. And subsequently, the initiative was taken by us, the government, to avail the partnership with its own 500 million contribution, which was merged by the Bank of Industry. So we are talking of a 1 billion naira jointly instituted fund here.
Now, what kind of manufacturing processes or investors can benefit from this fund?
Projects that have the potentials to unlock the value chain potentials of locally available raw materials. That means projects that would utilize locally available raw materials as their major input. That's number one. Then number two, projects that have the potentials of improving local technology, so that even the machinery they will utilize will be locally fabricated and designed. So that will encourage local technology. Then number three, projects that have the potentials of employing a large number of people, so that has potentials for mass employment. Under this scheme, we lay a lot of more emphasis on projects that have the potentials to balance the gender inequality in entrepreneurship, so that projects that are promoted by women and who meet other terms and conditions most likely have the tendency to be successful under the scheme.
And what is the minimum amount or maximum amount anyone can access?
There are three categories under the scheme of applications. The first is for micro. Under the micro scheme, all you need to have is a registered business name, and you can access up to a maximum of 10 million naira, depending on Bank of Industry's opinion of your requirement. You could say you need 10 million naira, but based on appraisals and assessments, if the bank thinks you don't need up to that, and you may not get up to that, but the maximum you can access up under the micro scheme, under the micro category, is 10 million naira. The other category is the cooperative category, where individuals in the same line of business or manufacturing who lack the wherewithal to stand alone come together. Between 5 and 10 people could come together to form a cooperative. And under that scheme, you can now also access up to 10 million naira, the category. And the last category is the small and medium enterprise category, where you would require to have a limited liability company. You also have to have to leverage a title to property as a collateral. You can access up to 50 million naira maximum.
You will agree with me that this kind of scheme comes with its own challenges, especially when you're dealing with fresh entrepreneurs. How have you been able to surmount those challenges, and what kind of challenges did you face?
Yeah, the first, there have been quite a number of challenges, I must consent. Perhaps the very first challenge that we encountered was the attitude of the people. They thought it was business as usual. While initiating the program, it was given a lot of hype, and people thought it was just business as usual. Government wanting to throw money around, and politicians, traders, and others. So people came, and within the first 1-2 months, over 3,000 forms had been collected in those three categories. But they are standard BOI forms. They are just customized for this Oyo State scheme, but they are standard BOI credit appraisal forms. And there are challenges in filling the forms. So even after 3 months, in spite of the hype, in spite of the enthusiasm with people collected the forms, we couldn't get as many as 50 people to turn in the forms, because there were requirements they needed to meet, and so we had to organize a capacity enhancement clinic to assist the people who have collected the forms. We partnered with BOI and Smedan, and they taught the people how to, and eventually we had to open a business support center at the secretariat of the scheme, so that people who had challenges filling the form could come in and they could be assisted to fill their forms. They could be assisted to, on how to go about packaging the other requirements. So that was the first major challenge that we had. And of course, we have also observed that out of the 54 beneficiaries that have successfully accessed the funding now, they initially had a 6-month moratorium and a scheduled payment plan. Some of them are a bit teetering now in paying back, and we have to engage them. And we have discovered that a lot of them lack capacity. It goes beyond having ideas and money to run business. There's basic business ethics that you need to learn how to keep basic records and stuff like that. So we are contemplating now to organize what we call, an aftercare clinic. Aftercare, it goes beyond you accessing the funding. There must be some follow-up, business support aftercare, so that on quarterly basis we organize this clinic to update and upgrade the capacity of the beneficiaries and would-be beneficiaries. And we intend to start that in about 3 weeks from now.
Finally on the program, for the first time since inception, the Bank of Industry took out time to appreciate 10 of its faithful customers who have distinguished themselves by fully repaying the loans granted to them by BOI. They were inducted into the BOI Hall of Fame in Lagos. The Managing Director of the Bank of Industry, Rashid Olaoluwa, welcoming the inductees of the BOI Inaugural Hall of Fame. They were chosen from different businesses across the country based on their record of excellent performance over the years. And now it's time to be recognized and rewarded.
Our Board of Directors has approved the establishment of a Hall of Fame into which exemplary and outstanding customers, big and small, shall be inducted.
And the list includes
Amasco International Limited, Kano. Two, Cement Company of Northern Nigeria, Sokoto. 3, Kobef International Limited, Port Harcourt. 4, Happiness Foam Industries Limited, Benin. Innocent Technical and Industrial Company Limited, Enugu. 6, Nigeria Aluminium Extrusions Limited, Lagos. 7, Nigerian Foundries Limited, Lagos. 8, Paul B. Nigeria Limited, Enugu. 9, Rumbu Sachs Limited, Kano. And 10, Supercore Industries Limited, Bauchi.
While the day brought cheers to the inductees, the CEO expressed dissatisfaction over some customers who have questionable integrity and have been blacklisted by BOI as loan defaulters.
We have decided to name and shame these bad customers, whose names will be placed on a blacklist of loan defaulters. In addition to naming the companies, we have taken the additional step of unveiling their directors and shareholders, such that other lending institutions and credit bureaus are sufficiently put on notice. Their names have been published on our website at www.boinigeria.com/blacklist.
However, there is more to celebrate, as these inductees show that it is indeed possible to run a successful manufacturing business in Nigeria with the support of the Bank of Industry.
Congratulations.
Since inception in 1974, the then Nigerian Industrial Development Bank, which later became BOI, invested as a parent in Ingalex. Nigerian aluminum extrusions. Apart from the investment, we've also taken loans, mid-2000s. And the aim was to be able to acquire the biggest plant in sub-Saharan Africa, for which we are proud of. And the interesting part is that BOI gave us at single-digit rate, and also the after loan support was tremendous. And that allowed us to be able to function well, get turnover, make profit, and repay the loan as at when due.
Loyalty is a fundamental requirement in any business relationship. If you need more information on how the Bank of Industry can help your business, log on to the website www.boinigeria.com. Call any of the numbers on your screen or visit the nearest BOI office to you. Till I see you again, I am Adeshewa Josh. Have a profitable week.